What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news, and this comes in the form of This Week at Bungie. So this week Bungie jump in and they talk about the Iron Banner for Season 6. We've got some pretty interesting new mechanics that they explain. They talk about some of the rewards and how all of that is going to work. On top of this, they have a few words about Invitations of the Nine, some stuff to expect there. They talk about Enhancement Cause and a few changes that they're going to be looking at for Season 7. On top of this, they break down the stats for the Allegiance quest, which is pretty interesting stuff, and they talk about a few changes which should be coming in an update in April. So guys, we're going to break it down in this video. If you enjoyed this one, a like below super helps me out, but otherwise let's jump straight into it. So first up, Bungie talk about the fact that we are now in the third week of Season of the Drifter, and they point us to the roadmap. Next week we'll be getting Emerald Coast for Gambit Prime, and then I believe after that all of the maps are going to roll out and be kind of in a normal rotation. But they say, if you are looking for lore, Invitations of the Nine started last Friday, and it continues for many weeks to come. Complete the first invitation to discover the backstory of the Drifter and his ties to the Mysterious Nine. Everyone who accepted his first invitation last Friday will have a new experience this week. They do say, if you missed it last week, don't worry, you can pick it up this Friday, and there won't be a cutscene every week, but that definitely wasn't the last one you'll see. And of course they are referencing the first invitation that we did get last week, which was pretty cool stuff. We saw a mysterious, believed to be Shadow having a conversation with the Drifter, but also learned that the Nine actually gifted the Drifter the haul that he tows with the Derelict. So we'll see what happens this week. Should be some pretty interesting stuff, and of course, we get powerful rewards alongside that. But now, Bungie talk about Enhancement Cause. We may as well jump in and talk about this bit first. And in the Twabs they say, we've been following the conversation around the use of Enhancement Cause for Infusion, and as a response, the Destiny dev team had some changes lined up that they want to share. So firstly, they say that the goal of the Infusion system is to create an impactful feeling of progression when you increase the power of an item that you enjoy using. An Infusion system with no scarcity around the materials would diminish this impact, and to that end, we tapped into a material with inherent scarceness, Enhancement Cause, to use as one of the keystone materials for this process. That is the goal of the Infusion system, but if the overall system is causing a negative experience, we want to work to improve it. So they say they'll be making a change in Season of Opulence with the goal of providing more access to Enhancement Cause. So Scrapper Bounties previously dropped randomly when dismantling gear, and there was no reliable way to earn Enhancement Cause using these bounties. So they're going to be taking these bounties away at the start of Season 7, and any bounties that you have in the inventory when the season begins can still be completed before their natural expiration, but in their place, the Gunsmith will now offer a selection of daily and weekly bounties that can be purchased for Gunsmith materials, and as with the Scrapper bounties, each of these will include, among other things, an Enhancement Core as a reward when completed. So basically, Enhancement Cores are still going to be tied to bounties, new bounties that the Gunsmith has, and this will be a new source for them as opposed to relying, heavily on Scrapper bounties and stuff like that. I personally think it's a good change to have, reliable bounty sources for these items, but there will at least be mixed opinions and feedback when it comes to Infusion and Enhancement Cores. I still kind of sit in the camp where I would prefer to use them to master a gear and not to infuse. But I think also more kind of guaranteed drop sources for Enhancement Cause as well, in bundles potentially, could be a really good thing for the game. Again though, as Bungie stated with the goal for this Infusion system, it doesn't necessarily align with that. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on it down below. Basically new bounties that come from the Gunsmith, no more Scrapper bounties, and as they say, an Enhancement Core is going to be a reward per bounty. So the only thing we don't know for sure is what the other rewards that'll come from these Gunsmith bounties will actually be. Maybe if they have some kind of unique loot table or rewards associated with them, or high chances at valuable or useful rewards in the game in general. And of course, we're going to have a higher incentive to actually complete them that isn't purely linked to the Enhancement Core, right? Because I think that's part of the problem as well. It feels like a fair amount of effort if you have to go out of your way to complete bounties, and Enhancement Cores are the only reward. So it's one of those. We'll have to see how Gunsmith bounties fit into the content in Season 7. Once again though, let us know your thoughts about it down below. Now though, let's talk about the Iron Banner. In the update, Bungie have said that Lord Saladin has a few new tricks up his sleeve, and we'll be seeing 2 new consumable items that will change the flow of combat through temporary power level adjustments. So the first of these is going to be the Iron Burden. We have spoken about this previously, but they say this consumable is for the best of the best to challenge themselves by lowering their power by 100. Putting more focus on skill, strategy, and gunplay. With greater risk comes greater reward, and for the brave, Saladin will be offering the Iron Burden consumable for purchase with 5 Iron Banner tokens. On top of this, there will be a new triumph that you can complete this season, by defeating 500 opponents while you have the Iron Burden debuff active, and completing it will reward you with an updated version of the Wizened Rebuke that is fully masterworked and has a curated role. They add that we don't have to complete this during the first event, and the progress will carry over to other Iron Banners throughout this season. It's a pretty interesting mechanic. Minus 100 power is definitely kind of a big bump, or drop, should I say. But in terms of that Wizened Rebuke, if you can get 500 kills, it's an updated version right here. Of course, a pretty good fusion rifle from back in year 1, but the curated role that they talk about, at least on Light GG, is listed as having Hitmark IS, as well as Enhanced Battery, Moving Target, and then Demolitionist. And Demolitionist is a new bonus, kills with the weapon generate grenade energy, and activating your grenade ability reloads the weapon from reserves. So pretty curious stuff. Let us know down below if you're going to brave losing 100 power in the Iron Banner. But there is another consumable called the Wolf's Favor. And Bungie say this is kind of added as an invitation for players who perhaps don't spend as much time in PvP stuff, or have a bit of a lower power level, and the Wolf's Favor will actually grant a temporary 100 power increase up to a cap of 700 power for 30 minutes. So basically, when you pop this, you're going to be at the maximum power level, but this consumable will drop with limited availability. So you have a chance to get it from Daily Heroic Story missions, Vanguard Strikes, the Nightfall, Flashpoints, Gambit, which of course is a Forsaken only activity, as well as weekly milestones from Ikora and Hawthorne. Some pretty cool stuff. Let us know down below whether that's something that you'll be trying out. They do give us a quick preview right here of the new Iron Banner gear for this season. So that's the armor for each of the classes. But on top of this, they say that bounties have been updated to provide more choice and address feedback from previous seasons. So each bounty will still grant a powerful reward upon completion, and on top of this, completing a bounty will unlock the ability to direct purchase specific rewards from Lord Saladin. Saladin will also offer a new emblem that you can pick up after completing all weekly bounties, which is called Weight of Guilt. We can see that one right here. It's going to track high power opponents defeated while under the effects of the Iron Burden. On top of this, for end of game rewards, there's going to be an updated version of All Wings Mall, which is going to drop from match completion and token packages. And we see that right here, the Energy Grenade Launcher is capable of rolling with random rolls. So let us know your thoughts about that, guys. What do you think to the changes to Iron Banner? Pretty interesting that you'll be able to actually kind of hit the maximum power level by using a consumable. There is an element of RNG behind actually acquiring that consumable, but it's a potentially interesting conversation in itself, kind of regarding the power level element and the importance of that in the game. But equally, it definitely levels the playing field out a little bit potentially as well. So let us know your thoughts about it in the comment section. Now though, Bungie give us a few stats about the Allegiance quest. By the way, make sure you pick up your weekly ally reward, as I suppose it's called, from either the Drifter or Ikora in the Tower, depending on who you pledge to. You will actually get one every week. You probably know that if you pledge Drifter. And right here, we can see that a lot of folks indeed did pledge to the Drifter. So the first graph we can see right here is an account level look, and looks at data on which side players pledged to first. We can see that it's 74.9% to 25.1%, so the Vanguard definitely lagging behind right there, but the graph right here is character based and takes into account all of the characters that pledged overall. Either way, really, pretty standout lead for the Drifter. Definitely interesting to get a bit of an insight about that, and honestly, based on my comment section, I saw a lot of comments about who folks were going to pledge to. Yeah, I'd say these numbers probably look about right. Now in the TWAB, if you need to check it out, they do talk about hotfix 2.2.02, that was the one we got on Tuesday, and just to reiterate right here, they have Season of the Drifter known issues, and these are fixes that they're tracking for the update in April. And that would include the Stronghold Titan exotic, the Clenched Fist perk, which is not activating when players are using exotic swords like Black Talon, an issue where the Vow cannot be infused above 650 power, the problem where folks are still seeing Crimson Day stuff from Shaxx, and issues where players can still receive the guitar error code in the last Wish raid. That's a pretty annoying one, because that was something that Bungie had dropped a fix for a few weeks ago. So there could be some continued issues there, and they also list some stuff about Invitation of the Nine, as well as Chaos Reach and Thorn Soul Devour. So we'll link the Bungie update down below if you want to check it out. But finally, they talk about Bungie bounties. They have had a couple recently, and they say they will be doing more very soon, but there will be one more Bungie bounty that they have on the roadmap, and that's for PC, on April 3rd at 10 AM PDT. So if you want to try and catch Bungie, have a chance to win that pretty neat emblem, then you can do that on PC on April 3rd. But otherwise, once again, we look to that roadmap. Obviously, I think things like invitations are definitely a highlight, but we'll have to wait for word from Bungie about things like Arc Week, as well as the Revelry, which we did speak about a little bit in my previous video. I'll link that one down below and at the end of this video. But guys, let us know down below any of your thoughts on the Iron Banner changes, the proposed changes to Enhancement Cause that Bungie are looking at. Once again, I think it's a positive move. but we may need a more kind of wholesale look at this. We'll have to see how the community responds and how it actually pans out in the game. But if you've enjoyed the video, a like below is very much appreciated. If you're new around here, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more D2 content. But otherwise, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys very soon.